One Punch Man Chapter 200, the brand new villain of this arc, the founding ninja, Empty Void, a man on par with Blast who took God's power and actually battled Blast 15 years ago, and he's been in a regeneration chamber. Well, now he's out and he's stronger than ever, and we're about to get some crazy action here in One Punch Man. Now, unfortunately, this was an extremely short chapter yet again. This time, Murata didn't even bother drawing a cover page. I can't remember if he's ever done that before, but I feel like he's extremely rushed. The art in this chapter was phenomenal, like way better than the last few chapters, if you ask me. Just great contrast and detail everywhere, but it is extremely short. Now, Murata is working on a variety of animation right now. He's like starting his own studio. I've made videos talking about this, and one is releasing like so many different manga. It's crazy. He just released another new one, not Versus. This one is called Bug Eater, and look at the art on this. I mean, it looks crazy and scary. I might have to review this one on the channel, but point being, both the author and the illustrator have been working their tails off on other projects as well. So it's unfortunate that these chapters have been short, but I think a big battle is coming. I was really excited for chapter 200 to be like a huge epic chapter with a battle against Empty Void, but it appears we're going to get that in 201. The big fight with Empty Void, I guess it's coming in the next chapter. We could actually get Saitama and Blast versus Empty Void, because Blast took Saitama in a black hole and they whisked away to go find Empty Void and find if there's a connection with God, but it turns out Empty Void was here inside these ninjas that Flash and Sonic are fighting, and you can see at the end of the chapter he kind of just like erupts out of their internal organs and everything, consumes all their flesh and blood, and forms into his humanoid battle state, which we see at the very end. So we finally wrap up this battle between Flash and Sonic versus these ninjas from the Ninja Village. They made completely quick work of them. Flash showed that he's slightly above everyone else. You know, Sonic took a little bit of damage. He was bleeding a little bit, but he was way stronger than them as well. But Flash came out on top. And now as they're standing here, strange things start to happen to all the ninjas that are laying here dying. Flash says that he believes the village was a testing ground for creating minions of God, similar to that man being Empty Void, from a young age, taking away their humanity, torturing them with training, testing their limits. Sonic, you saw what I saw underground too, right? That cube was being used to test people's suitability as minions of God. If you are not suitable, your life is forfeit. And we see this just pile of bones and ash. The image of the village being a training facility for assassins was just a facade. In other words, all of you who were safely shipped out as assassins, from that man's perspective, you were not elite, but you were utter failures. And so we saw this also happening in the research facility where Tatsumaki was rescued by Blast. So the ninja facility was doing similar things with the black cubes, trying to contact God, feeding people to him, or transforming them into mega powerful avatars. But most of these ninjas like Flash, Hellfire, Gale, and Sonic, I believe they like pretty much just escaped, the ninja village. But everybody else, we're going to see they start laughing and something really strange starts to happen with them. All of this energy and blood starts to like flow out of all of their bodies as they start laughing hysterically. Are lives stolen, you say? Why do you assume they weren't offered? These ninjas think they're blessed because they're sacrifices to God. And we get some like really creepy kind of like zombie imagery here. Their bodies start convulsing and blood's rocketing out of their nose. It looks like their head's exploding and everything. That man is finally arriving. No doubt, you'll soon realize that by getting killed by us, it would have been much more pleasant. By consuming human blood and organs, that man has been born anew. There is no future for any of you. And it seems like he didn't realize that he was the sacrifice, but he's like, if it's our blood and entrails that you desire, and then he just bursts with blood. Was he having doubts at the last second? Look at this shot, man. Like just all their organs, like just bursting out of their body. Crazy imagery in this chapter. And all the blood and organs start to swirl up into this giant like ball of meat, which starts to form a giant butthole in the sky. And that's when you see the human form coming as the giant flying butthole turns into Empty Void, who looks just insanely raw. So he's sucking in the rest of the blood and guts and everything into himself. And we get the final image of him covered in blood. You know, he looks just insane. He looks crazy powerful. And I don't know if Sonic and Flash are going to be able to beat him. But I think Blast and Saitama should just like appear at the battlefield. Like maybe Sonic and Flash will fight him 2v1 for a little bit and get their butts kicked, but then I feel like Blast and Saitama have to come. I'd love to see Blast versus this guy. Oh my god, it'd be so exciting. Just watching Blast fight was just so cool. I want to see it again. And I don't want to spoil what happens because this has already happened in the webcomic. I mean, not this exactly. This is much different than the webcomic, but how this guy is defeated, we know from the webcomic, and I'm just hoping that they change it up here. Like, One Punch Man manga right now is in desperate need of another big bad and a big fight that lasts like at least a few chapters to get people hyped up. And I'm hoping we get that here, but we will find out in 2 weeks.